We were on a break!
Oh my God!
Welcome to Miss Popcorn. Today, we're diving into the TV show Friends. More specifically, we're unpacking 10 reasons for and against Rachel's decision to stay in New York with Ross instead of going to Paris for her new job. Buckle up, it's going to be as bumpy as their relationship. And yes, consider this your official spoiler alert. Number 10. Road already traveled. Rachel and Ross's relationship was an on-again, off-again roller coaster. Some days, it was adorable, sweet, and undeniably meant to be. Other times, it was just exhausting and hard to watch. There was a clear pattern. Ross had always liked Rachel, but he continuously showed signs of controlling behavior, whether it was staying married to her against her wishes or going behind her back to secure a job she had already clearly moved on from. Ross repeatedly overstepped boundaries. Rachel, on the other hand, always seemed to want to have her cake and eat it too. She acted oblivious to Ross's obsession with her until he was in a relationship, at which point she would start to sabotage things, not just once or twice, but at least 3 times. The will they won't they dynamic had become a path they had already traveled way too many times. The opportunity to move to Paris offered Rachel a chance to break free, try new things, and meet new people, something she desperately needed. On this point, we vote Paris. Number 9. The one that could have gotten away. Now let's flip it. Perhaps the on-again, off-again nature of their relationship was rooted in the unspoken belief that there would always be an option for each other.
How do you expect me to grow if you won't let me blow?
A feeling that no matter what happened, they belonged to each other in the end. This Paris trip, however, shattered that illusion. It wasn't just a physical separation, it was a definitive step forward toward Rachel creating a new life without Ross in the picture. The weight of that reality may have forced both of them to confront their true feelings. Without the safety net of always having the other person around, they realized how deeply they cared for each other and how much they wanted to be together. In this light, Rachel choosing to stay in New York wasn't just about Ross. It was about acknowledging that their connection was something they weren't willing to let go of, even if it meant changing their plans. New York scores a point here. Number 8. From Runaway Bride to Paris Powerhouse. Rachel was on the brink of something huge. She had gone from a runaway bride to a waitress and then climbed her way to becoming a full-blown fashion executive. This is very far from being a daddy's girl living off his credit cards. She was now an independent, ambitious woman who was finally living the dream. No more sorting through hangers or fetching coffee for the real decision makers. She was the decision maker now. This Paris opportunity was the adventure she had been craving, a chance to explore the world while doing what she loved. It was a job that prioritized her comfort, even offering to fly both Rachel and Ross back and forth to make things easier for them. Talk about having it all. Honestly, the only direction that made sense was forward. For this one, we're casting our vote for Paris. Number 7. The grass isn't always greener. Let's all pause. Maybe exploring the world isn't as glamorous as it's made out to be. The allure of adventure and starting afresh can make us believe a whole new life will magically fulfill all our dreams. But what if Paris wasn't everything Rachel imagined? What if she ended up hating the job, feeling out of place in a new country, or missing the close-knit support system she already had in New York? Sometimes the grass isn't greener, it's just grass. Remember Lily from How I Met Your Mother? She packed up her life to pursue art in another state, only to realize she felt lonelier and more unfulfilled than ever, and she ended up coming back to her real home. Maybe Rachel didn't need a grand adventure or a shiny new life to be happy. She had built something incredible in New York, a life filled with people who truly cared about her, a city she loved, and a job she was already thriving in. Perhaps staying wasn't about settling. It was about recognizing that she already had everything she needed to be happy. So yeah, Rachel Green didn't need greener pastures. She already had all the green she needed right at home. Number 6. Out with the old, in with the new. The life Rachel once knew had already changed dramatically. Monica and Chandler were married and had already moved out to start their family in the suburbs, which meant the iconic dynamic of her and Monica in one apartment and Chandler and Joey right across the hall was officially over. Phoebe was also married and beginning a new chapter of her life, which meant their spontaneous coffee shop hangouts and late night chats were not going to happen as often. Realistically, their group wasn't going to meet up at Central Park every day like they used to. Life was pulling everyone in different directions, and that was okay. It was natural. Rachel was standing at the crossroads of her own big moment of change. This wasn't just about Paris. It was about embracing the next stage of her life, just like her friends were doing. With so much of her world shifting, it made perfect sense for her to take that leap and start a new adventure in Paris. Timing is everything, and this was the perfect time for Rachel to move forward, and Paris was calling her name. Number 5. New beginnings. Yes, their friendship dynamics had definitely shifted, but let's face it, change is just a part of life. Even if they weren't living just a door away anymore,
And somehow get clobbered. I'm tired of being clobbered. You know, it's just not.
that didn't mean the bond couldn't evolve. Maybe they would create new routines, explore new hangouts, and make new traditions. This time, it could be family gatherings, couple dates, or even their kids going to the same schools. It wasn't about losing what they had. It was about building something new, something just as solid, but with different kinds of connections. Sometimes, embracing change opens the door to new possibilities and even stronger bonds. On this one, we vote New York. Number 4. Staying for Emma. Alright, let's talk about parenting. Staying in New York isn't just about Rachel's career or her relationship with Ross. It's about giving Emma the most stable, loving environment possible. Think about it. Paris would mean a new job, a new city, and a completely new life for Rachel. But for Emma, it would mean leaving behind her dad, Ross, and the friends who are basically her extended family. Plus co-parenting long distance, that's a logistical nightmare no one needs.
Plan tonight. Can you please just take care of her for today?
Absolutely. Just give me your breasts and we'll be on our way.
By staying in New York, Rachel ensures that Emma grows up surrounded by love, familiarity, and a strong support system. This is a clear score for New York. Number 3. Living for Emma. Alright, here's the real deal. Rachel going to Paris could have been the best thing for Emma because it would have shown her that taking bold chances isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Rachel's whole arc in Friends is about going from a spoiled runaway bride into an independent, ambitious woman. By taking the job in Paris, Rachel would have demonstrated to Emma that it's okay to prioritize your goals, even when it's hard. She'll be teaching Emma that sometimes leaving what's familiar is the only way to build something better for yourself and the people you love. So yeah, pack your bags, Emma, we're going to Paris. Number 2. Hard goodbyes. Rachel wasn't just moving for the fresh croissant or the chic fashion. This was her dream job. Even when Ross showed up at the airport, pouring his heart out and begging her to stay, she boarded that plane with all the conviction of a woman who knew exactly what she wanted. Talk about iconic.
I can't do this right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Rachel.
I'm so sorry.
But then, thanks to Phoebe's hilarious left phalange panic-inducing ruse, when the plane got delayed, she had a moment to rethink everything. And just like that, she ran off the plane, straight back into Ross's arms. Was it romantic? Sure. Was it impulsive? Absolutely. But here's the thing, Rachel's decision to stay was likely fraud by a cocktail of nostalgia and last-minute emotions, rather than practical thinking. Over time, there's a high likelihood that Rachel will start resenting Ross. Think about it. She gave up her dream job, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a guy whose track record with her was shakier than Joey's grasp on French. Their history was littered with breakups, makeups, and so much drama. Would they have lasted? Honestly, the odds aren't great. So should Rachel have gone to Paris? We vote yes. Absolutely. Number 1. Big things happen in New York. Sure, Paris was a shiny, glamorous opportunity, but let's not forget, big, shiny, and glamorous things can and do happen in New York too. Just because Rachel passed on this job doesn't mean it's her last shot at something spectacular. Her boss outrightly said she's great at her job. So who's to say her next big break isn't waiting for her right here in New York? In New York, she has her life, her friends, and her newly recollected family. Why uproot everything when she could build a better future in the place she already calls home? On this one, we're Team New York all the way. There you have it. Paris promised adventure and growth. New York offered love and stability. So where do you stand? Are you Team Paris or Team New York? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of Miss Popcorn. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns of your favorite show. Keep the popcorn warm and see you next time.